Hey guys, welcome back to my site. Thanks so much for joining me today for today's review video. So I wanted to do a review video on my experience shopping on the well-known luxury resale site Vestiaire. I wanted to do this video because I've heard so many mixed reviews about the process, whether it's buying or selling your pre-loved luxury designer items. I think the concept's amazing. I love that it's like it encourages circularity in fashion and like reselling well-loved things onto new people for a new life. Just the idea that it kind of promotes quality over quantity and buying fast fashion. So, you know, it's a great idea. I have actually been a member of Vestiaire for about 6 years now. I know lots of people love the site and love poring over it for hours. Like I certainly do. I've got a wish list as long as my arm. But for some reason, I've never committed to a purchase until now. I really thought I should document the process because there's a reason for that. And it is because they said lots of people I've heard have had issues with the buying and selling process. I've heard that the guys at Vestiaire HQ don't make it easy. I think the process could be streamlined a little bit better. So today's video, I'm going to talk you through the process that I went through, my experience of everything from start to finish, and you guys can make up your own mind. And at the end, I'm going to show you what I bought as well, and I'm going to unbox it for the first time on camera, and let's see if it lives up to what I hope it's going to be, because this cost me hundreds of pounds. So searching for a designer item on Vestiaire, it's easy in theory. It's when you actually start getting down to the nitty gritty and finding something that you really want to purchase, that's when it becomes a bit clunky for me. So like when you're like filtering through all the items, say you put in like Chanel bag, medium, flap, classic, black. Okay, so you get loads of options there. But what I really was annoyed with was the fact that when you shop on here, and I was like picking up loads of different Chanel bags and like putting them in my basket, I didn't realise that the customs fee and import duties adds hundreds of pounds to a designer item, you know, when you're buying on here. So I like to go through and I basically click all of the countries that are in the EU, so it means I don't have to pay any import fees. That's a long process, and I really do think that Vestiaire should offer an option to just click all European countries and just search items there, because obviously when you're buying a bag for hundreds of pounds, you don't want to add lots of import fees because it's already quite an expensive purchase anyway, and I feel like that would make it so much easier. What I do really like about it is when you find something you like, you can make an offer. Now, not all of the items listed have that option. Some people don't want an offer, they just want you to buy it for the asking price. Fair enough, but I did find that I was more interested in the items in my category that allowed me to make an offer. And what I also really liked about this, unlike eBay, you're not locked into the offer when you make it. So for example, if you find a bag for £1,000, you're like, well, I quite want to offer 900 on that. You can make the offer. The seller gets 24 hours to respond to your offer and accept it, decline it, or give a counter offer. And then when they make a counter offer, you get another 24 hours to either accept, decline, or make a counter offer. And I really like that because at one point I had about 3 different offers going on 3 different bags, you know, and I'm like using them all against each other, bouncing off, see who's going to come back to me with the best price. And even when they did come back to me with an offer, I didn't have to accept it. I got 2 counter offers back and I made another counter offer on one that I was more interested in and they accepted. Another thing I really liked was the fact that they text me when I got a counter offer or my offer had been accepted. That was really good because I'm not always on the app or the desktop website. So it was good to have those notifications coming through so I could respond in a timely manner. What I really dislike about Vestiaire is the app. I think it's really clunky. I would love to just use the app rather than the desktop site, especially when I'm shopping on mobile, but I found that it crashed a lot. The search capabilities were really quite shit and limited, and also when I was trying to find offers that I'd already made previously, I couldn't navigate around the app to find where I was in the negotiation process of buying this bag. Let's talk about what I ordered in this box. So for the longest time I have wanted this bag. I actually had one when I was a little bit younger when they first came out, and I've just kind of seen them coming back around, a bit like the Dior saddlebag. It was so big in the early 2000s, in the noughties, and now it's just having a real resurgence. I feel like this bag is doing the same, so I wanted to rebuy it just because I did love it back then, and I just feel like it still to this day goes a lot with my style. So I've been hunting down this specific bag type for ages. I want a specific colour, I want a specific year that the bag was made, like the certain style because they did come out with a lot of different styles. And then I found it. The bag was coming from Thailand, and I didn't initially want that because I didn't want to pay import fees, but for some reason the seller had marked it as the bag location was France. So I was like, well, that's fine, you know, if she says it's coming from France, I don't need to pay import fees. Made an offer, she accepted, all's well. So once you found the bag you want to buy, you have to complete payment on payment page, and then the seller has between 0 to 7 days, so a week, to post the bag, and then there's a shipment time of 2 to 7 days. So you're looking at 2 weeks maximum for the item to leave the seller and arrive at Vestiaire's headquarters, where they quality control check the item and make sure it's all authentic, which is, I think, is a really essential middleman process. Like, I don't want to be ordering from a seller who's put up a fake item and then it comes straight to me, and then I have to deal with the admin of returning it or asking for a refund, dealing with a fake item. So I think it's really great that there's that middle point where Vestiaire do review your item. But saying that, I've heard from a lot of people that Vestiaire have actually received an item and it's not been in good condition, it's not been in the condition that the seller said, or it's been fake, or it's just been damaged beyond repair. If it's fake, you always get a refund, but if it is damaged, you as the buyer then get a discount offered. And I know that someone got a discount offered of £10 off a bag they'd spent hundreds of pounds on because it was quite damaged. Now I think that's a little bit insulting, to be honest. What happened was, 2 weeks passed, I didn't hear anything from Vestiaire or the seller about this bag. So I went on and I looked for a way to message the seller, and this was really annoying. There was no way to get in contact with the seller. So really annoyingly, I had to actually just write on the items listed page, "Hi, have you dispatched the bag? I haven't heard anything, please let me know." And it's in public for everyone to see, so I didn't think that was very professional at all. But at this point I had to get in touch with her somehow. Then I wanted to contact Vestiaire's HQ as well to maybe hear from them. Had they received the bag? Was it going through quality control? Again, super hard to find the number to actually ring them and get someone on the phone. I did eventually find the number, so if you guys need that number, I will put it down below in the description box. Rang them and I didn't get through. So when I couldn't get in touch with them via phone immediately, I actually just emailed a help email. Again, I will leave the email down below if you guys need it. And they got back to me in 2 days. So at this point, it was almost at the 14-day mark, I think. And they said to me, if we don't receive the bag in the next 2 days, we will just automatically issue a refund. So I'm at this point really frustrated. I've not heard anything for almost 2 weeks and I still don't have my bag, and they're just telling me if they don't get it in the next 2 days, they're just going to issue a refund. It's really frustrating because, you know, when you're looking for the exact bag you want, you go through the process. It takes time looking for things online, then you go through the ordering process and negotiation, then you finally think it's on your way to you to be told that actually you might just be getting a refund. So by the time I got the email back saying I potentially was getting a refund from Vestiaire, the seller actually responded to my comment and said that the bag was posted 10 days ago. So by this point I'm wondering what the hell is going on. The bag apparently left Thailand 10 days ago. Why hasn't it arrived in France yet? And then 2 days more passed and I noticed that the money had gone back into my account. So I started the process again, went back on, shortlisted a few new bags. By this point a few more had come onto the market. Again, started offering to a few more people. Eventually I got an offer accepted on a bag, and actually this time I made a saving of £20, so it was £20 cheaper than the one I had originally purchased, so I guess in a way that's a positive thing. So by the time I purchased my second bag, this time the transaction was a lot smoother. I purchased on the 11th of November, the seller shipped it 1 day later on the 12th. It was received 3 days later at Vestiaire HQ for quality control checks. It was marked as compliant and authentic 4 days after receipt at Vestiaire on the 19th, and then it was shipped that day and it received to me the next day. All in all, it took 8 days for the whole process this time around, so that is much better than my first experience. But I guess it just goes to show that it really does depend on the seller a lot of the time. That was my experience. Now I have the box in front of me. This is the bag here. I'm going to unbox it with you guys for the first time. Let's see if it lives up to what my expectations are. One thing I found really odd whilst I was waiting for the bag to turn up, obviously I had a bit of a shit experience with my first order, but like I wanted to keep going back and like checking the bag. Like I was quite excited, spent £745 on it, so I was excited to get it. I've waited ages for this bag. You can't actually access the listing once you've bought the bag, which I thought was stupid. Like, why is that so difficult? Anyway, I eventually found the bag in like a history of notifications, so I've gone onto the listing because I want to see how what's in the box compares to what was actually sold to me. So when I was shopping for this bag online, there was a criteria that I wanted the bag to meet. For example, cool. They have a grading system that you can grade all your items on when you list them on Vestiaire. So it can be fair condition, good condition, or very good condition. I was seeing that the good conditions weren't actually good enough, so I made sure that the bag that I was purchasing was falling into the very good condition. And what very good condition means is the bag is in very good condition. It's a second-hand bag which has barely been used and shows no signs of any defects, so it's pretty much as new unless listed like otherwise. So the bag that I actually purchased, the seller said that it is perfect condition. Only the mirror is damaged. Now, that was actually fine for me because I wasn't actually planning to use the mirror. She says it's been in the box for 3 years and has been used less than 12 times. So that's the type of condition that I was looking for. It also came with a dust bag, so you've got it for storage. And also, I really like purchasing something secondhand if it does have the original dust bag, because it does make it better to resell if you did decide that you wanted to resell it. Another thing about Vestiaire, which I think is quite good, is the fact that if you receive your item and you're not happy with it, you can actually relist it without paying seller's fees. So I thought that was good. I bought a Balenciaga city bag. Now, you'll remember when they were made popular first in like the early 2000s, like 2002, Sienna Miller with her boho grunge style, loved them. They were just like these really cool, kind of like urban, but like kind of grungy rock and roll style bags. They had the tassels, they got the stud work. They were so popular that they just brought out tons of them, like in different styles, different colors. I had the green one before, which I'll put on the screen now. This is Sienna Miller also rocking hers. But this time around I wanted classic black, and I decided, would I want brass hardware, rose gold hardware, silver hardware, or gold hardware? Now, I decided to go for gold hardware because I actually wear gold jewelry the most, and I thought against the black it pops the nicest. So that's what I've bought. Let's see what it looks like. I'm so excited. So this box turned up. I honestly didn't have a clue what it was. As you can see, there's no branding on it, which, to be fair, is a good thing. You don't want anyone knowing that you're ordering something from Vestiaire, because if anyone knows who Vestiaire is, they'll know that it's most likely a very expensive luxury item inside, and therefore it can increase risk of like theft or whatever. And then I opened it up to see what it was, and then I saw the bag and the handle, and that's what gave it away for me. Now, this is where I was a little bit like, well, come on, like, you're a luxury resale site. There's absolutely nothing luxury about receiving a box that looks like that. Now, I'm not saying plaster the word all over the front, because obviously that's stupid, but there's like no little card to say thank you for your purchase. I mean, fair enough, we want to reduce paper waste. Not even like tissue paper with a little sticker on it, just like this shit. And at this point I'm just like, oh, okay, so here it is. It's a bit underwhelming, but whatever. Obviously the real prize is what's inside the bag. So let's get it out. So just to recap, this is the city bag from Balenciaga. It's the small size. It's not the mini. They have the mini, they have the small, they have the medium, they have the large. This is the small size. It does come with a strap as well. Okay, so it smells really nice and leathery. So here is the bag. Oh, yeah, it looks exactly how I wanted it to. It looks really, really good. Just giving it a quick once over. I'm looking at the seams. For me, it was really important that all these seams, like these edges here, the bits of the bag that generally do get worn the first, were still in perfect condition. And if she said it had been worn less than 12 times, then I expect it to not have any wear at all. I'm looking at the hardware now. There is a tiny little bit of discoloration, and you won't even see it with the naked eye unless you're like super close like I am. Tiny little bit of silver popping through on those gold studs right there. Everything else seems to be in perfect condition. Oh, that's interesting. So I've just seen that they've polished it. Whether that was Vestiaire polishing it or the owner polishing it, probably to clean up a few scuff marks that I can no longer see now because it has been polished. That's a bit weird, and I think a little bit annoying, because the way it was listed, it shouldn't have needed any polishing. It said that the edges and the finishes were basically in perfect condition. So I'm not sure where the polish is. Like I said, I can't tell, but it's coming off on my hands now. It's also inside the bag. So you'll see here it comes with a tag which shows that it's been authenticated by the Vestiaire team. When it was serviced, does it compute with its original description? And they have ticked off very good condition as well. They've date stamped it too, and Gwendolyn did my inspection. So this is the only piece of like anything that shows you I've ordered a bag from Vestiaire. Okay, so I'm really happy with it from what it looks like. Secret polishing aside, I am actually gonna have to find where the polish is coming from, because I don't wanna like put it on with a white outfit and then my whites are soiled. Whilst looking for the Balenciaga City bag, I really wanted one with a handle because it is quite a roomy bag. Even though this is a small size, you can see that it can hold quite a bit. And what I love about this strap is, so you see how the strap just goes on the shoulder like this, and then the bag kind of just like relaxes. I think it's like super chic, just like nothing structured about it. I'm not like a massive fan of structured bags unless they're like the micro ones. This is my biggest concern. I actually really wanted it to be able to go across my body like this, and I'm actually lucky that it does, because everyone always advertises these that they are not crossbody bags, but obviously they're not made to be crossbodies, they're made to be shoulder bags. I'm quite a petite person, so I think that's probably why it goes across me quite easily. I might struggle a little bit more if I'm wearing a big bulky coat, but I'm really glad that it goes across my body like that, because that's hands-free and that's massive bonus points for me. So there was no way of knowing that if that would work, but I'm glad that it does. Oh my god, I really like it. It's so cool. It just looks really cool. If you did want to purchase one of these Balenciaga motorcycle or city bags, one of the first areas to go, and I learnt this from looking through these bags on the internet, is these threads here across the handles. Obviously they're held every single time the bag is used. These are like the first to wear and tear. So you should always, in my opinion, look for the threads that are fully intact and there's no like breakage or anything around there. Just gonna check inside the pockets. The earlier ones had the fabric labels. I think later they brought out some with the metal plates, and also you can get a metal plate on the front here. I actually didn't like those ones. I felt like they were a little bit too like neat and tidy, like pristine, like too much hardware. So I like this is like all leather. The label's leather there. Really big pocket in the interior here, and she's left the original tag. There's a few crumbs in here. She didn't clean it as well as she should have really. Get those out. Someone else's lunch from 10 years ago. So it's got a zip closure as well, which I really like about this bag, because when you're in London and you're on the go, like people do just slip their hands into your bag and rob you. I've had it happen to me before. So I like that it's got a zip top like that. Super roomy option to hold with your hands in the crook of your arm, shoulder bag, or also crossbody bag like that. No, I'm really happy with it. And I went into Balenciaga actually on New Bond Street just to have a look at them in the flesh, to like make sure I really wanted one before I bought it. And I was worried that it would be too small. It's not at all. It's the perfect size, and I would actually say this is more like a medium-sized bag if I'm totally honest. But no, this is the small size, so the medium is like even deeper. Minor wear, but like nothing that I wouldn't have done probably in the first 3 months of owning this myself. I'm really happy with it. So as far as like the experience of shopping at Vestiaire, I think the pull of this brand or this shop in general is the fact that they are selling amazing pieces of clothing, vintage bags, jewelry, shoes at a reduced rate. You know, they have the tier system where you can mark the quality. I like the fact that they have a quality control. I mean, they have to really, because otherwise there'd be a lot of disappointed people ordering from there. I think the ordering process could maybe have been a little bit quicker, but I guess it really is a little bit down to who you're buying from. Like I said, as far as Vestiaire's responsibility as a retailer goes, I do think they need to update their website. It's not efficient, especially when you want to avoid paying taxes and import fees. They should have just a Europe only section, so it just ticks all the countries rather than you having to go through every single country and mark the ones that you want to see products from to avoid paying customs, duties, taxes, import fees, that sort of thing. I think like an on desktop or app chat app would be really good, like just being able to talk to someone at any time about the product, especially when you're spending all that money. And then lastly, I think although I agree with the unmarked box arriving, it's a good idea for security reasons. I think it really would be nice if they made a little bit of extra effort with this packaging, because I really don't feel like I spent 750 quid with that site at the moment. I feel like I might as well have got this from eBay. So there you go. That is my honest review of my first time buying a designer bag from Vestiaire. Overall, I'm absolutely happy and chuffed with the bag that I've got. I love it. It's exactly what I wanted. It's definitely met my expectations. I got it for a little bit less than the seller wanted to sell it for. So again, great for me. My feeling of, you know, how happy I am with the product that I purchased actually makes all the other stuff just feel like it's redundant now, although it was a pain at the time. Now that it's here and it's safely in my hands, in my sweaty, clammy hands, it's been a good experience. I'm happy. So yeah, hope that helped you guys. If you are going to make your first purchase from Vestiaire, if you were looking for any of the contact information, like I said, I will leave it in the description box so you guys have it. Thanks for sitting down and watching this with me. Hope it helped, and I'll see you back here on my channel really soon. Bye for now.